Hello, everybody. And as you probably know, like almost every region of the world, the Middle East and North Africa has been impacted by this exceptional COVID-19 public health emergency. Aviation is really in the front lines of this, and travel restrictions and reduced business activity have reduced the overall amount of traffic that we've seen. And today we're joined by Mr. Ali Alnaqbi, who's chairman of the Middle East and North Africa Business Aviation Association. And we want to get a first-hand view of how this part of the industry is dealing with the crisis. So, Ali, first of all, just give us, please, your own impressions of the impact that you see in your part of the world. What's really happening with you and your member companies?
Well, thank you for having me, Charles, and great to speak to you. It's unfortunate, the situation that everybody has to go through. This COVID-19 has impact beyond our expectation. We never thought that we will come to such a situation. So we are no different than any other country. UAE and the Middle East and North Africa has been also impacted severely with the COVID-19. So we are following the government instruction as far as our industry. It has been a negative impact for sure, and we are trying to deal with it as much as we can through many channels, through the civil aviation authorities and through the of course, the civil aviation authorities in each country, and also through the government support,
Of course. And is any flying allowed in your part of the world, or some flying is allowed, but it has to be on certain conditions?
Yes, indeed. Some repatriation flight is happening. However, if there is a flight has to take place, there is a lot of approval needed to be like diplomatic approval. And most of the time, two countries has to agree that this flight should happen, with that passenger. Some countries, we lately found that they will not allow flight to come, even they're bringing their national back home. But, there is some restriction on that as well. But Charles, I think, it is not really the restriction in the flying, but it's more of stay home. It is more of people are not allowed, and they will not take any risk by moving out of the house. And this is the dilemma that we are seeing. For that, you see a lot of companies start working from home, and it is a bit complicated. Yes, there is no flight. Yes, there is no movement, but people sometimes need to be there to listen to what's going on from the operation perspective. You cannot move the full operation into your house. I'm talking about flight scheduling, and I'm talking about flight planning and, flight operation. So you cannot really move it to the house. So there are some people, some stuff has to go to the office. That creates a bit of a strain.
Of course, yes, good point. And of course, flying is so important, but there's more to the industry than just that. The industry supports many support companies, many jobs. What are you trying to do as the MEBAA Association to try to support your member companies through this difficult time?
Indeed, Charles, we have contacted most of the members, all the members in the country by country, because we're dealing with the Middle East and North Africa. We're dealing with 23 countries. So we started with UAE and Saudi and Morocco, and then we're going to where the business is actively more active than the other countries. So, for example, if I give you an example, UAE, we have spoken many times with the civil aviation authorities. I have wrote to all the members, asked them to list down the challenge they are facing and what they actually need from the government. What the members, what's the company operating in UAE needs from the government. I gather those, I get feedback, and I compile a letter. I've sent that letter to the government and to the civil aviation authority, because we are fortunate to have the chairman of the board at GCAA in UAE. He is the Ministry of Economy as well. So he does help, in some extent. This is what we did with our member here. We brought their concern, and like any other countries, the government have announced that they will support the private sector in this pandemic crisis, what's going on. So what's happening, we're trying to register ourselves at one of those sectors that needed to be reviewed. Of course, the national airline or the national carrier is actually being taken care of by the government. But we wanted also to register our demand. And that's what happened. The letter went to them, and we are just talking about how the structure of compensation or how the structure of help by the government to the companies. This is what happened in UAE. The same thing in Saudi. A letter will be sent also tomorrow to the government of Saudi. And we're going to do gradually country by country, whereas the business is more active than the others.
Yeah, good point. So what do you think it will take to improve this situation? It sounds like it's in a way quite simple. If the restrictions on personal movement and travel are lifted, then do you hope then that people will quickly return to flying in business aircraft?
Charles, that's a very good question. In fact, we are easy to move. Our industry is easy to move, and they can turn around very quickly. However, we have to protect the staff. We have to protect the companies. There's companies thinking to close down. There's company, not only send their staff home, but they actually, stop paying them salaries, and of course, due to no business. And everybody understand. Everybody's sympathetic about what's going on, But the point is how we can protect the company during this situation. And that's what MEBAA does. MEBAA is working very hard with the government to make sure that the sustainability of the business continue. That is number one. Number two is when the business will go back to normal, are we going to be ready? And that is the point that we are discussing. I think, from my point of view, Charles, I think we are easy to maneuver, easy to go back to, to where we start, in different than the airline, which need a lot of work, So we are easy. So if the sky open again for flying, we should be able to do the quick flight until the airline actually pick up and start doing their business. I think, as I mentioned, Charles, many occasions, us and the airline, our industry, business aviation and the airline, we complement each other in any way. And I think we're showing this.
And finally, Ali, of course, we all want things to return to normal. One of the things that is normal for this year is that in December we should have the MEBAA show in Dubai. Are you still looking forward to that? Is this still going to be a high point of the year?
Well, indeed, we are indeed looking forward, and we are hoping that this situation will be clear by then. We are hoping, everybody will be safe. So far, MEBAA Show 2020 is happening, and we are monitoring the situation with the government and on the international level as well. Charles, at the end of the day, safety of our attendees and our exhibitor is number one.
Thanks, Ali. That's very good to hear. I am sorry for the slight technical problems we were having there towards the end, but that's great to hear that the MEBAA show may well be happening in early December. We'll obviously keep an eye on that. Ali, thanks for all your hard work. It was great to hear how you're contacting the government of the UAE and Saudi Arabia and other countries within the Middle East and North Africa region to look out for the interests of business aircraft operators. I'm sure they'll be relieved to hear that. We'll catch up with you again soon, I'm sure. And thank you so much for speaking with us, and thank you for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching this AIN video. Please like, subscribe, and share it if you've enjoyed it. Also, visit AINonline.com for all the latest on the aviation industry.